Greetings and salutations, everyone. I'm Mac. This is Let's Play Limbus Company. Well, no, it's not. This is Limbus Company, though. In the last episode, we tackled the thread Luxcavation for Golden Apple. Today, it's the alley Watchdog. And this one is kind of annoying. The thing about the alley Watchdog is that it uses slash lust, or it uses blunt sloth attacks. And it's actually really hard to find characters that can handle both. So, starting off here, we have Spicebush Yi-Sang again. He's weak to blunt. He also doesn't have very good gluttony skill here, but it does work. It's just 3 coins has a good chance of failing, so he's not going to get the whole thing off, but it can happen. It's very unlikely that we're going to get Wishing Can off, but if we do, it does give out some blunt protection. Not enough to override his fatal weakness, though. Second of all, we have G-Corp Gregor. He isn't just fatal to blunt. He's also fatal to sloth, so if he gets hit by the Watchdog's blunt attacks, then it's gonna hurt a lot. But I'd say it's worth it to get to use Legerdemain. It's worth noting that if we do pick up if we use Way Association Gregor instead, it sort of shuffles him into being weak to the slash attacks instead of the blunt attacks. The main reason we do this is because it gives him Guardian, which is a very needed sloth, a very needed gloom resource, because some of the best gluttony attacks we have use a single gloom. I keep thinking sloth, it's not sloth, it's gloom. So it could be worth considering that. Over here we have Ryoshu. Weak to slash. Her focus strike would be handy, but she just isn't fast enough to capitalize on it most of the time, and that's very unfortunate. I did think for a while that maybe you could use her Soda Ego, but there's 2 problems with that. One is that it's an event ego that's going out of fashion very soon. The other is that it requires Envy. We don't have any Envy generation either, which is actually kind of unfortunate because it would be really nice if we could have her Red Eyes ego. Anyway, step 4, 7 Utis again. She has good gluttony ego. The problem is that they require gloom, and we don't have any. This paralyze is going to be very important though, so predictive analysis once again proving to be busted. And finally we have Sinclair, and Sinclair is kind of weird. Lobotomy ego red sheet. This is season 2, so it's about to go out of style, but this one does actually have decent rolls against the wolf. Weak to blunt though. Actually, that's a thing that I probably should have addressed. Fatal to lust, fatal to slash. If she's hit by a slash attack, it's going to hurt. Now that said, Sinclair, the thing is that he relies on this talisman mechanic, where if he reaches 6 or more, then he loses all his talismans and gets hurt. If he manages to get 5 and use his skill 3, then he gives away 5 talisman to the enemy. What talisman does is that every time you hit something, they get inflicted with rupture, but every time you're hit, you get inflicted by rupture. So it does act as a nice damage boost, But getting this skill 3, everything to line up for skill 3 is really hard. And in a gluttony focused team, he's going to overflow a lot. It's really annoying. And since it's a focused encounter, he doesn't get extra skill slots. The alternative for gluttony is Blade Lineage Sinclair, who is terrible. You need to beat 11 in a lot of... you need to beat 11 coin power in a lot of cases, and so much of Sinclair's stuff just doesn't reach it. But it does give him wrath generation, and that's useful for some utility ego. At some point I will be able to uptie, and then he can finally start winning clashes against this thing, but until that point, he's mainly here just for the fact of generating that wrath. Yeah, just look at how much he needs the wrath. The problem with gluttony is that there's plenty of IDs that have it, but it's hard to find an ID that has good gluttony skills while being weak specifically to Pierce. We did actually have something almost like that, but I don't think LCCB Assistant Manager Ishmael is very good at this fight because, aside from all of her skills being easily beaten by the Watchdog, she's fatal to Lust and Sloth. It's insane how it's so hard to find a safe way to approach the back alley Watchdog. So basically you have to mix it up with people weak to his blunt or people weak to his slash. Too much of one or the... You aren't going to win all your clashes against him, you just have to hope that you win enough. I would say that the one advantage that we have here with we can control where most of the targeting goes. Also, the one advantage that Sinclair has is that he is normal to most of the attacks that the wolf has, so that's nice. It's not a perfect matchup, but it's hard to get it when the wolf does actually move pretty dang fast. The downside to this fight is that it's really hard to warm up your SP. But the upside is that it's really easy to stagger the wolf and cancel out all of its attacks. So turn 2. You've probably staggered the body. You need to be a bit more careful about how you do this. Predictive analysis on the body because we want that paralyzed next turn. Everything else goes into the head. Well, I guess we can throw clean up at the body as well. Yeah, Yi Sang is just really unreliable with that skill 1. Even with a bonus to his SP, even with 10 SP, he rolled 3 tails in a row. So, on this turn, the head would use an AoE attack. But because we staggered the head, it can't actually do that, so we have a free move. Actually, you know what? Ligger Domain.
거치적거리지만 마.
Wait, I didn't use Lega Domain, did I? I forgot to reselect the attack. Well, as you can see, it's not a difficult fight, it's just really irritating. It's hard to make an optimal fight, but because it's kind of a severe pushover, no one really bothers worrying about it. Let's just run this again. So this... It's rolling a 13, that's actually kind of hard for her to beat. And it's entirely possible for the boss to just decide to roll the same attack twice in a row. There's nothing you can do if it decides to keep rolling heads. If you have to choose between two clashes that you can't intercept, then you want to target it so that the one that deals the least damage to you is the one that goes through. And I've actually been looking. Yeah, you see there was nothing we could do there. The thing is that Gluttony teams are actually really good at Rupture. So if you do bring the Red Sheet to Sinclair, he has a very good chance of... What I'm saying is he has a good chance of having Rupture up for all of his special effects, but that means that it's very easy to zoom straight past 5, go straight into something like 6 or 7, and then the talisman count resets, which is really annoying. Speaking of annoying, it's worth noting that it's not equal. Okay, not the case here, but were we to... Ryoshu takes 2 times damage from slash attacks, but she's endurant. She only has 0.75 resistance to lust, so even though it doesn't cancel itself out, if she took a claw attack, then it would actually deal the extra damage.
기억 못하게 하려는 길이구려.
예측대로군. 빈틈 투성이로군. 검을 덜 갈았었나?
Alright, our damage was actually so bad that we got to this round. How? Attack weight of 2. It honestly rolls exactly the same as all of your other his other attacks, so we don't need to worry about it. By this point you should have a single ego charged of some sort. But it is a pierce attack, which means that if you somehow manage to find someone who isn't weak to slash or blunt, then it's going to be that howl that's going to cause them trouble. Man, you're still not down? Also, what's up with your ego? I thought that... You must not have been faster, I guess. A handy thing about Branch of Knowledge is that it actually gives Sinclair SP back and refunds it if he rolls a tails on the actual attack. The downside is that it means that if he uses multi-coin skills, it has a passive that will drain his SP pretty dang quickly if you're unlucky. But as it is, we didn't even need to care about that. Alright, one more round. I've shown off what the howl attack is like. Let's show off what Red Sheet feels like to fight here. Because we're throwing away Sinclair's resistance to both of its main attacks. Actually, another thing worth noting... as soon as we get all this. Yeah, 200% is not a laughing matter, but this also means that we're leaving Sinclair to take this hit. And he can't actually win. So yeah, as I was saying, the wolf actually has... It's been nerfed a little bit. The wolf's main mechanic when encountered in other content is lightning. Every time it hits a target, it actually gets a stack of lightning, and at enough charges, it actually uses special attacks. It still should have those special attacks, but it's not going to use them because it doesn't generate lightning anymore. Hit the head. So this should give at least one stack of talisman. Red Sheet Sinclair is actually really weird for me. I've been trying to figure out whether it'd be worth up-tying or not, because on one hand,
흐드러졌구려.
On one hand, the extra talisman would be nice to have, but it is so easy to overflow that it kind of feels not worth. On hit, if the target has rupture, gain a talisman. I don't get why this didn't kick in last turn.
예측대로.
Yeah, you see? For some reason he shoots up to 6 talisman if you activate his gluttony resonance, meaning that his skill is just going to waste. And he only gets it once every 6 turns. I just don't feel like they optimized this.
색색이 황홀하고 아예 기억 못하게 하려는.
I feel like something weird just happened with the targeting and how wasn't challenged like it should have been.
검을 덜 갈았었나?
Uh-oh. When it says corrosion, you have to be really careful about those AoE skills. But yeah, the back alley Watchdog. It's annoying, but it's not difficult, and you probably aren't going to do anything crazy. Things only go wrong if you try to show off like I did right there. Anyway, next time we get into the actually rough battles. Until then guys, take care. I'll see you all around.